Welcome back, my delinquents. Why do platforms hate VTubers?
Guys, they're quivering. They're so scared. Oh. Can you hear what the sounds they're making? They're like, oh, 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 poor oh.
Platforms such as TikTok and YouTube or Instagram, similar platforms, seem to have a general dislike for VTubers when it comes to monetization and promoting them, and they seem to be a lot stricter on them. I'm wondering why. From the VTuber and comic writer Merriweather about his TikTok getting community guidelines violations repeatedly. This is actually not very uncommon for VTubers, as guidelines seem to be a lot stricter on them, me included. And today it has put this question back into the open again. Why do these platforms generally dislike VTubers? Even YouTube gets very picky with thumbnails, their shorts, and other such things. So I'm looking to deep dive into this question. So we're going to go over this right now. I'm going to make a point of this, and then we're going to go into maybe some of the deeper reasons people dislike VTubers, especially platforms. I think someone is spam reporting me on TikTok. I've received 2 community guidelines violations, and just one more will cause me to get permanently banned. This is a real concern for a lot of people. I put a lot of time and effort into my TikTok. I used to get 50 to 100k views, but after the guideline violations, it's barely a few thousand, if I'm lucky. The strikes that were given to me are on entirely harmless and silly videos. One is Jared calling me cute and telling me to kiss his yoga body pillow, and another is just me mentioning the existence of men prank, nothing at all 18 plus. Both have been taken down and flagged as hateful ideology. I applied for TikTok support to manually review the videos, and they upheld the strikes as hateful ideology, despite there being nothing of the sort in there. I didn't think mentioning MPrag was hateful ideology, but if it is from some hardcore LGBT standpoint, maybe that's what's caused it. The ride clip, I have no understanding of why it was manually reviewed and confirmed for breaking guidelines. I don't really know what to do at this point, as TikTok seems insistent on upholding these strikes, and it's totally killed all my engagement on TikTok. Anyone have any idea what I could do? From the comments, this seems not particularly uncommon. I want to underline the hateful ideology community guidelines here, as it seems to be a very common. When I also get striked on TikTok, it is usually for hateful ideology or nudity the same. I even have to use certain kinds of avatars. I can only use the one you're seeing right now, especially in shorts or on TikTok, or I'll be automatically flagged. It seems to really dislike any kind of cleavage area whatsoever on a VTuber.
No boobs. Look in my eyes. No boobs.
Though hateful ideology is a common report tool by people just hating on communities, it is usually deflagged. Why do they continue to allow it? Why does it withstand the manual review? That is a good question. I will be going over some of the reasons VTubers may be hated or disliked by these platforms, starting with people that are anti-VTuber. VTubers have a lot of people that dislike them. They are more likely to be reported, is a general answer by some. So there is a large dislike of VTubers in some groups. Why is that? From my research, it seems VTubers are connected not just with anime, which can open one up to hate from people, as though less of a niche now, some people do really dislike anime fans. But more so, VTubers seem to be connected with e-girls, which I didn't see coming, but it makes sense, and I can't believe I didn't quite make the connection before. As VTubers are also referred to as a female community, which isn't true, there is a large amount of males in this community, easily successful. Also not true. Plenty of money for just being attractive. I don't think I need to say it again. It is not an easy entry level. I could get into e-girls and the general hate online, but I'll focus on the core reasons I think they connect with e-girls for people. People perceiving it as an easy form of success based on something they see as low value, so they think it's undeserved and are more likely to hate it, which they have in common with streamers and e-girls in general, that people have this notion that any success is easy and undeserved. In Australia, we call this tall poppy syndrome, or cutting down the tall poppy. It is used to describe those who deliberately criticize other people for their success and achievements, aka criticizing people for simply rising above others. Pretty much cutting down the poppy that puts its head above the rest. Is this right? 100% no. But it does happen, and this is a very similar reason why some of these hate groups exist, next to the general disliking of what they think it stands for. Bad moderation.
Good kitten.
Some people are saying that bad moderation may be the reason for this. A lot of companies, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, have very poor moderation and review systems, seem to be run by like one man and his dog. But I'm going to be specifically focusing on short form content. Even with review by a manual person, a lot of these strikes stay, which makes sense as you are at the mercy of a random person employed at TikTok or YouTube. You get judged by their set ideas, maybe they have some guidelines there, but what they believe will sway them in other directions. Do they have a bias against VTubers in moderation? We aren't really sure because these are faceless people. We don't really know at this stage. But as we go further in, I think some other things could connect and paint a picture of why they may have a bias against VTubers. Going into ad revenue.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money!
Another cited reason why VTubers may be dealt with harsher is they're not advertiser friendly. Though VTubers are growing and become more acceptable, a lot of sponsors don't like partnering with them, as they are perceived as very sexual and 18 plus in content. This may change as VTubers are seen more as a variety of creators. A good example of this is Iron Mouse's partnership with Razor One, one of the biggest companies to work with a VTuber today. But it is slow going, and we seem to be judged more as a group of people under one umbrella than individuals. Are VTubers seen as 18 plus only creators?
BWAM! Yo!
Inherently seen as sexual through memes, miscommunications, and anything from ASMR to not safe for work content. VTubers are being seen as collectively or sexual, not just LewTubers. Could this be a reason that connects some of these bias points? For reporting, for even ads, why we are dealt with harsher as we are inherently seen as 18 plus creators, not reflecting on our actual content but just what they see. As VTubers are generally expected to be slightly flirty or accidentally sus at the very least. This misconception could be giving the idea we are all a certain way at all times, which isn't true for anyone. Due to VTuber being seen as a relatively new compared to other forms of content creation, this could be the case as we are seen as a community and hasn't as fully striked out onto our own compared to other creator communities. And I think some of these points do connect into each other why some companies may be biased against VTubers. And though some of these points may be true at the moment, a lot of companies see VTubing as the future, as advertising going closer to Japanese companies, having mascot ambassadors instead of actors to promote them. So though a lot of VTubers commented they no longer put effort into these types of content due to negative effects those strikes have on their content, I think all we can do is keep moving forward as a community and creators, showing the variety in our works, so we are just not automatically labeled by others as 18 plus creators. In an ideal world, we wouldn't have to prove this point, but I think it's something that needs to be done as, sadly, advertisement is very cutthroat, and they will only judge us as what is seen is because all they want to sell, sadly, is what is seen of us from first, second, or third impression, and I do believe getting frustrated is completely fair. It can get very annoying, but I do think some of these points is why we are treated harsher than some other creators. What do you guys think? Do you think VTubers are treated harsher than other creators? And why do you think that is? Leave a like and a comment below, or subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you next time, my delinquents. You've got this, bestie.